So, Sony is dropping Vita, PSP, and PS3 from their lineup, but they found the FGC. So, hey, is this the next phase of PlayStation's evolution? I don't know. Let's talk about it and get us all things started. Welcome to Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast for Boss Rush Games. I am one of your hosts, LeRon Dawkins, and my stationaries are back at my side once again, pressing that share button. So, without much introduction, the Typo Queen, Nellie Lott, is up in the house.
Hi. With homework.
And our PlayStation Doctor, Austin Campbell, is making his rounds once more.
You know what? I'm going to say it again. Back in plat.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Like platinum.
Platinum.
Okay, see? There we go. I don't know why I didn't get that. I don't know. Joining the squad tonight in our fourth chair is the world's #1 Bible Man fan fiction writer. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Cale Michael.
Why, hello there. I think I can claim that title because it doesn't look like there's even a Bible Man category on fanfiction.net. there are, however, over 1,000 crossovers featuring the Bible, specifically. So if you want to read about Jesus Christ hanging out with Phineas and Ferb or playing Club Penguin, go ahead.
Oh my God! I can just see my grandmother chasing me around the house with a switch, just trying to read some of that stuff. I swear.
The first thing I saw was the Club Penguin crossover, and I clicked on it. And there's only one, but it's called The Great Pupple Extravaganza, and the title is Jesus Learns the Joys of Club Penguin.
Oh God.
So enjoy, everybody. There you go. Have fun with some nice Sunday reading, wholesome.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Great.
Doing great.
Nellie's got homework as usual. Austin's trying to hack the PlayStation servers.
What are you trying to hack the PlayStation for? Like, what are you? Is there like something you want? Like,
he's trying to bring back communities. He's trying to bring back communities.
Why?
I want communities back because I need people to link up with me to help get platinums because that's the only thing I used it for.
Look, I joined 3 communities and one of them was for like I don't even know if it was a remaster. So has anybody here played Rogue Galaxy?
Oh, a long time ago. Yeah. I love that game. Yeah,
the PS2 game. So I bought it. It was released on PlayStation 4, and they always, whenever you used to download games, this was like they would have like the side tag where it's like while the game is downloaded, like, do you want to join the community or whatever? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? That's the only community that was active. Like,
oh wow!
When the last time I checked, and there were still people posting in it, and so I guess pour one out for the Rogue Galaxy community on PlayStation 4. But like outside of that, I don't think I don't even use it. That's the only one I like actively joined. I think the only one I ever posted in was like the Star Wars Battlefront, the new one. When I played that. Because that was pretty active in like people joining up to play games and stuff. But I mean, that's the feature was just like in concept cool, but it's like you have Discord, you have party chats and stuff. Like, why do you really need something like that?
Speaking of Discord, did you hear the news?
I reported on the news.
Oh, you did, man.
Yeah.
I swear, Microsoft is starting to get insidious with some of the stuff they're doing nowadays. I swear.
I was like, Microsoft's taking over.
I will say that it's only preliminary conversations. Discord is not actively selling. They're kind of testing the waters. They've done this before too, so it's not like this is something new. They're kind of just casually testing the waters to see like what their worth is now after they've grown consistently for a year. I don't know what their exact. They're selling the range that people are reporting that they're selling for is $10 billion, which is fair for how big and how how big the community is. So with that in mind, I think when I reported on it last night, when that news broke that Microsoft was interested and apparently in talks, They were the front runner in conversations, but sources told like Bloomberg, or I think it was Bloomberg, that they also had preliminary conversations with Epic and with Amazon. So those are the three names that the last time I looked into it, I heard all of them were in that. I mean, all three of those companies can afford it, so that's not the issue. The issue would be like out of those three, Microsoft is, I think, the best option because they would, with how they've treated stuff that they've acquired in recent years, they're much more hands off than they used to be. So everybody's like, oh no, if they get it, it's going to end up like another Skype. And I'm like, no, Skype would still be its own thing. Microsoft Teams would still be its own thing. And then Discord would be its own thing. And they'd probably just own it and integrate it with their stuff. They wouldn't like mess around with it too much, especially with how successful it's been over the last. I mean, it's consistently growing.
You know what? That was honestly my fear when I heard about the fact that they were looking at possibly like trying to acquire them. You know, I was like, they can't even like get everything straight with Teams and Skype. So why are they even bothering? Or is this how they plan to fix their problems with Skype and Teams?
In my opinion, I don't think they're going to do anything with Discord and Skype. They're definitely not going to merge the platforms because those are just two completely. They're competing platforms in the form of like their voice chat platforms that are free to use, and they're vying for kind of the same thing. But Skype is definitely for an older demographic, while Discord is specifically like catering itself to gaming communities, streaming communities, content creators, that kind of stuff. It's much more. Skype feels more personal, while Discord feels more community focused, which is, I think, what
that is. Yeah, that is true. Yes,
and then at the same time, they also have Microsoft Teams, which is business focused.
Yeah,
and they're trying to expand that out with some of the new technology. Like they're doing some AR stuff that they showed off in a presentation a while ago. They're partnering with Niantic and some movie producers to create like experiences for it. So that there's a lot of like variation going on, but it seems like if Microsoft acquires it, they're going to be very hands off. They're going to integrate it into their systems, and then they're going to have those three different SKUs that all play to very specific demographics.
Well, that's how I would like it to be. But you know, sometimes you don't know. But yeah, you are correct though. Like they have been very hands off with a lot of their recent acquisitions and stuff like that. So hopefully, David Lasby in our chat right now from Power Block is like he loves Teams. To be honest, I have not had the best experience with Teams. So
are you a Skype only, or are you like
no, not really. No.
Zoom, Discord.
I'm probably more of a Discord person, but in all honesty, y'all gonna laugh. I'm a Facebook Messenger person.
I don't blame you, as long as you don't do like Skype, not Skype, Slack calls. Because the quality
no.
I've been slacking forever.
Yeah, well, we use it for work, and my editor-in-chief tried to call me on Slack the other day, and he's like, hold on, let me just use Google Meet. And I was like, good call.
We use Slack for school.
Yeah. One last point on the Discord thing is that it's not that surprising because Microsoft has partnered with Discord in the past to use to offer like rewards and stuff for Game Pass users, Game Pass subscribers. For like they've offered like 3 months of Discord Nitro as recently as like January. So it's not like that they haven't had conversations before. And I also heard that it was Phil Spencer that was leading the talk. So it's the gaming side of Microsoft that is apparently in talks with the Discord team. So good to note there.
All right. Yeah. Like, shoot. We're already off to a good start. Like, this wasn't even an actual news topic, and we actually slid an additional one in there. Hey, how about that? This is episode 29 of Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast of Boss Rush Games. Every week we come together to bring the latest news, rumors, games, and general discussion in the world of PlayStation. Crossroads is live on twitch.tv/Exodus803, Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are glad you are here and a part of the conversation. Take a moment to please give us a follow at PS_Crossroads at Twitter. On Twitter. I'm sorry, not at that's double redundant, If you like us, then please subscribe to our podcast show and share, rate, and review us wherever you check out our show. If you're unable to join us live, Crossroads can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcast apps, as well as youtube.com/BossRushGames and BossRushGames.com every Thursday. Don't forget to check out our growing family of podcast shows, also available at BossRushGames.com. All right, guys, you know what it is? It's our favorite segment of the show. What's on your PlayStation?
Whoop, whoop.
All right, Cale. This might be a really good topic for you, or it might be a really painful topic for you. But tonight, we're kicking off the Super Donut Wars over at PlayStation. So how this goes is PlayStation has one of two formats. The first format is we just talk about what we've been eating or what our favorite thing is for that particular day or that week that we're doing, or we have a specific topic. Tonight, it's about donuts, and we break this down into 3 different segments. For the Super Donut Wars, it's tell us what your favorite donut is. Tell us your favorite donut joint, whether that be a chain or a mom and pop place or, some bakery that, doesn't actually specialize in donuts, but it's kind of their thing. And then also, what's your favorite chaser to wash down those donuts after you've gorged yourself? So, just so you get an idea how it works, Austin, you go first. What's up with you and your Super Donut Wars?
Austin, you're an Oklahoma boy. You know the answer.
I was about to ask you, do you have Daylight Donuts down there?
I do have Daylight Donuts.
And Daylight Donuts is the spot for sure. I mean, it's all over Oklahoma for a reason.
There's no question. It's
Yeah.
So for reference, Daylight Donuts is a chain, but it's one of those chains that's like it's a overall chain that's locally owned. Each business is owned by different people.
And Cale will know what I mean. It's Brahms, but for donuts.
Yep, basically.
Yeah. What Brahms ice cream is Daylight Donuts for donuts. And yes, I'd say Daylight Donuts is the best. And the best donut to get there is the blueberry donut. The blueberry donut and the sausage rolls. Those are the 2 go-tos there.
You are literally just reading my mind.
Exactly.
It's the blueberry donut. It's either the sausage rolls or the kolaches or some form of just their. That's the only option.
Yeah.
And that's any of their fruity their fruity offerings for donuts or donut holes or whatever are awesome, but the blueberry is definitely the way to go. And then you get the kolache, you get the cheese kolache, and if you really want it, you get the jalapeno cheese kolache.
Oh my god!
And then you wash it down with chocolate milk.
Oh my god! These guys have already made me sick. They already had a bonding moment.
Yeah. Hold on, I missed it. What do you wash it down with, Cale? Because I want to know if we're on the same.
Austin, you get the chocolate milk.
See, that's where we got split.
Yes!
What do you get?
It's gonna be crazy, but I get a Mountain Dew. For some reason, Mountain Dew.
What in the world?
I don't get Mountain Dew very often.
Now, I will preface this with most of the time when the last time I would consistently get Daylight Donuts was before track meets. So I would get the blueberry donut, I would get the kolache, and then I would get a thing of chocolate milk because you got to get that protein in too. I'm not getting a Mountain Dew though with donuts.
Oh,
you're a wild man.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but every time I go to Daylight Donuts, I'm like, I think it's like Coke at McDonald's. Every time I go to the Daylight Donuts, I'm like, I
just don't drink soda.
Dew. It just tastes crisp.
I just don't drink soda. So that's just wild though. Even if I did drink soda, I would not go for Mountain Dew with donuts.
I don't know. I can't explain it, man. But every time I want 2 sausage rolls. I want 2 blueberry donuts.
See,
I want a large Mountain Dew. Let's go.
First off, that's like 2.5 meals right there.
That's 1 meal for me.
Oh my wild! It's that's too much. That's too much. Now I could eat 2 sausage rolls and a donut if I really wanted to, but 2 donuts, 2 sausage rolls, and a Mountain Dew. That's like 4 days of sugar for me.
I need all the energy I can get.
Oh my God, where's Dan Murphy at in the chat right now? Oh my God.
Right?
You know what? I feel like Dan would stand with me. I feel like probably not. He stands against me on everything.
Don't make me DM him. Don't make me.
I don't know who Zumi is in the chat, but yeah, Chalky Milk and Daylight Donuts starting the day off right.
Oh, that's my buddy.
Shout out to Zumi as well. They're saying that Daylight's in Kansas too. Which I didn't know.
I'm pretty sure it's the Midwest, Kane.
Oh yeah, that's my buddy. That's my buddy Justin. Hey Justin, thanks for joining us tonight, man. All right. Oh my God.
I get the
starting off
milk.
Right.
The plain milk is also a good option. I'm just a fan of the chocolate milk because that's usually like the most sugar I'm going to have outside of the donut. So.
Oh man.
Now I gotta go chocolate milk because I can't do just plain milk. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing.
The side eye that Nellie's giving you right now. Oh my God.
Just the whole Mountain Dew thing.
We're off to a rolling start tonight.
Listen, man. Mountain Dew. Next time you're at Daylight Donuts, just get a large Mountain Dew. It changes life.
Mountain Dew's the same. You're not going to get like a different whatever,
Nope.
Man.
If you go to McDonald's, it's different Sprite, different Coke, man. If you go to Daylight Donuts, it's a different Mountain Dew. It's like straight from the mountain. Like John Denver went and got it himself.
I don't think that's how it works, but I'll let it slide.
Nellie, please save me. Please save me.
I'm that plain person. I go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not a bad option. Not a bad option.
I go to Dunkin' Donuts. That's exciting.
See, I've never been to a Dunkin' Donuts, though. I've never even seen one in person.
They're not really around Oklahoma. They're not a common. There's one in like way down in Edmond. But
man,
that sounds about right.
The chat's having a blast with that one. Oh my God.
Cousin. She said you're not getting my insulin level.
That's good.
No, I was laughing earlier because I saw a meme, and I think one of the letters had fell off, like the L, and it read I ate donuts. So that's why I started laughing, because I'm like, I've seen it before, but I don't know what it is. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't a diss, but I thought it was.
The Dunkin' Donuts thing isn't too crazy because it's not a common thing in Oklahoma. But like when I've had it, it's pretty good. I prefer their like not their pastries. They're like actual like their bacon snacks and stuff. When I go there and get a coffee and they're non-donuts because I think their donuts are fine.
Oh yeah, their breakfast sandwiches. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, they're like actual like meals or better than their donuts in my opinion. But
yeah,
I mean it's a good chain. I like Dunkin'.
I like the chocolate glaze.
The chocolate glaze. Okay, so Dunkin' chocolate glaze, and what's your favorite? Wash it down chaser?
I used to get a small vanilla iced coffee.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Almond milk.
Austin was really reserved about that. I think we laughed at him too much now. He's not enthusiastic for any more of our answers.
I love you, Austin.
No.
The Mountain Dew, y'all.
Hey, listen. If you want to ignore the fountain of youth, then by all means, you can go past it. Me and Ponce de Leon is gonna hang out at the fountain of youth. We're gonna find.
See, Mama Rose says America runs on Dunkin', and we're sitting here like that.
Not the Midwest. Not in Oklahoma, we do.
Jeez, man! Oh my God! Like, I went into shock as soon as I heard freaking Mountain Dew chaser. Like, do you even taste the sweet after at that point?
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
See, here's my thing with the chocolate milk is when I drink chocolate milk, it tastes just like regular milk because all the sweetness is gone. I'm like, what's the point of this? Milk's disgusting.
The protein.
No.
You get maybe it's because you drink too much soda.
Honestly,
Because the
missing out.
sweet level is just like, oh, donuts and Mountain Dew to donut and chocolate milk is like a literal mountain of difference.
Cale, this is why you got to get extra sausage rolls, man. That's where all your protein is. You get all the sausage, man.
No, there's more
That's
carbs.
that's all the protein you need. That's all the protein you need.
Austin and I have very wild differences in the health standards of our donut meals.
Hey, whatever makes you happy.
True.
Oh my god.
No. I see that in the chat. No, donuts are never a safe topic. That was your first mistake. Breakfast food is never a safe topic.
Okay. Let me see if I can keep this together long enough to get through mine. All right. I like an old-fashioned glazed donut. I'm talking about those cake donuts that have like that crater that's all around the ring, and all that icing just like gets into there. Did we lose Austin?
We lost.
Yeah,
Did he drop out because
he doesn't like donut. He probably has an internet issue.
Yeah,
He
possibly.
said, "Y'all
There
make
he
fun of him,
goes.
but Mountain Dew, I'm leaving."
There he goes. All right.
No. Well. See, I was being quiet because mostly like everything was lagging behind, so that's why I didn't want to say anything. Cause
Yeah.
no, I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in my breakfast.
Hey,
I'm good.
You do you, brother. You do you.
That's
You
fair.
know,
Okay, you got that glazed donut. What next?
Yeah. My favorite donut place is actually Duck Donuts. I'm not sure if they're a chain or if they're just like a East Coast like a East Coast thing, Middle East Coast thing, because I've heard too many people outside of Virginia and the Carolinas and Maryland
It's probably
talking
closer
about.
to daylight, where
What's
it's
that?
it's probably closer to daylight, where it's like a couple states.
Yeah. Yeah, but Duck Donuts is my thing, and man, you know what? Years ago, the idea of having a freaking a maple caramel bacon donut would have turned me off. Would have absolutely turned me off, and that is like a freaking joy to have in your mouth. Yeah, yeah. So donuts have actually helped me like be more food diverse, and that's sad. Yeah, so my favorite donut place would have to be a Duck Donuts, but you know, I hate to say this, but we have Wawas over here on the coast.
Oh,
And
really?
and man, Wawa donuts
Wawa is
slap.
the place.
Wawa donuts slap. And you know what? Since we're talking about Wawa, my chaser is the cookies and cream milk
No,
to chase it down with.
That sounds good. That sounds tasty.
Yeah, half dozens for $3. Like and usually the milks are 2 for $2.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what?
And that's a meal right there.
If I'm gonna go on the diabetic shock, at least I'm gonna do it a decent way and not like
6 donuts and 2 things of milk, 2 things of cookies and cream milk.
as opposed to 120 ounce or 124 ounce of Mountain Dew.
Hey,
That's fair. That's fair.
listen. You're gonna be all that milk is gonna be just sitting in your stomach. Okay, whereas Mountain Dew pushes right through. Just pushes right.
Yeah, pushes right through into the bloodstream, raising
I
that
was
blood
thinking
pressure.
that too.
Raising
Oh
that
my
blood
god!
pressure.
No shame in the PlayStation doctor's game. I'll put it that way.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
Oh god, this was a good topic. Oh my god, I knew. Okay, so we had the old fashioned glazed. Nelly, yours was a chocolate sprinkle, right?
Mine was a chocolate.
Chocolate glazed. Austin, what was yours again?
Blueberry.
A blueberry.
Yeah, both bars are blueberry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
two blueberries, old fashioned glazed, and a chocolate glazed. So right now it looks like the blueberry has the edge, but we want to leave this up to the chat. Like who wins this donut war? Is it the old fashioned glazed? Is the chocolate glazed, or is it those blueberries?
I'm pretty
And
sure the
just
old fashioned glazed would win in
and,
a like a runoff,
Yeah.
just because
and
it's like the least like taste acquired, I guess. Because like anybody can pick one of those up and probably enjoy it. Versus like if you don't like chocolate or you don't like fruity flavors.
well, the thing
But
is, my thing is, I like good cake donuts. So
oh, absolutely, cake
so
donuts are awesome.
an old fashioned glaze is honestly a cake donut already. And like sometimes and here's another thing too. I remember one time I was in Dunkin' Donuts, right? And they used to advertise them as a sour cream donut. And I was like, oh,
Oh yeah.
that sounds kind of disgusting. I remember my mom telling me, she was like, if you need like a heavy cream or a heavy dairy product for your cakes and stuff, substitute sour cream in.
Mm.
So I actually tried one time, and I was like, oh my god, this is like having a pound cake for a freaking donut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
my dad always says it like they only call it sour cream because there's already like sweet cream
Yeah,
because they need to have some difference to it back
yeah,
like when it first hit the market. So like they just had to differentiate it by calling it sour cream, even though it's not typically sour. It's just that little bit of like it's got like that weird first taste
yeah.
if you're just eating the sour, just eating the cream. So you're
That's
not going to
like
put it in like a drink or something. But
for real. Yeah.
it's not like not sweet. So the just a little bit of naming trivia, I guess.
All right, some of the chats coming through talking about this old fashioned glaze. So hey, I might win this one
And
tonight. I might win this war tonight.
and and I like the old fashioned, like even the chocolate donuts and the blueberry old fashioned donuts as well.
Oh yeah,
You get those. Krispy Kreme makes those, and those are pretty good. They're
I
like the
mean,
cake donuts.
as
man.
long as you're not getting like too fancy, I'll probably eat anything from Krispy Kreme. The one downside of Krispy Kreme is that they don't do a lot of the fancy stuff, and if they do it, it's not as good as their regular stuff.
Yeah, it's like they're
Right.
afraid. It's like they're afraid to do their specialty donuts now because I remember
Yeah.
one summer they had like they had the tropical flavor ones, and they had like key lime
Mm.
pie. They had there was a bunch of them, and it was like, man, me and my roommates that year we probably increased our stock profile significantly that summer because
Oh,
we would buy 2 to 4 dozens of these. We would buy 1 dozen of just the regular glaze, and then we'd buy 3 dozens of the freaking assorted ones of those flavors.
No, you
We
gotta have a party on the weekends.
we had problems. I'm surprised none of us are diabetics.
Yeah, I mean that most people come out of college and stuff like that with thinking like, man, how do I not have like more health problems?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, none of us have fatty livers or anything like that, and our A1C is okay. We got lucky. Like, Krispy Kreme was like, you know what, we're gonna put these guys in the hospital. We need to take these off the market.
We're gonna put the college demographic in the hospital.
Oh yes, Mamaro, the lemon donut, amazing. I love
Mm.
the Krispy Kreme's lemon cream filled donuts. Oh my god!
Yes.
And
Yes.
shoot, I remember in high school. Like the fundraisers. The fundraisers, you either had like the dozen of the regular glaze, or you had the dozen of the lemon creams. And oh my god, like it didn't. Every time those fundraisers came around, like I was always getting the lemon cream ones.
mm. Now I just want donuts.
Do
Yo,
it.
I've got tacos
Shit.
waiting for me after this, so I'm set.
All right. Well, there you go. Super Donut Wars tonight from PlayStation. Out there in the chat, let us know. Let us know how you feel about all this. Let us know if one of us is weird for some of their choices here. Kind of. I want to see what the consensus is. I mean, I think I already saw some of it, but also, let us know overall how you feel about it. Also, hit us up in chat. Let us know what your favorite donut is, your favorite donut joint, and your favorite chaser. Looks like milk and chocolate milk are the winners on that. But I don't know. Austin, no one's really talking about Mountain Dew. Not that much. Well,
They're missing out.
I don't even like Mountain
Missing out.
Dew.
Same.
Missing out.
all right. Well, guys, here we go. Here's some PlayStation blurbs the Crossroads crew thought you might be interested in tonight. Alright, first up, PS5 pre-orders open in Egypt this week with a high price tag attached to it. Guys, you thought we had issues getting PlayStation.
Here we go.
Hey, listen.
Oh, we have a
You
superstar in the
teach a
chat
man to
tonight.
fish.
Yes. Master RBG is back.
Oh boy.
Master RBG is in the chat with us, and he's throwing all sorts of shade to the Mountain Dew donut.
Look. Yes, apparently it is. Somebody's got to keep Austin in line, but apparently nobody will do it.
I thought we were doing. You know what? Austin was good last week when Corey was here, and then as soon as Corey left, like he's off the chain.
Listen. You can teach a man to fish, but if he won't go to the water, he ain't gonna catch any.
You're not going for the water. You're going for the Mountain Dew.
Oh my!
That's the nectar of life.
Okay, go ahead, LeRon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Let's get back to the. We got the PlayStation stuff. Let's go. No fishing that Mountain Dew, bro. Austin will probably say something like, "No, they float to the top. Makes it easier for me."
Exactly.
Okay. I got this. I can do this. Okay. PS5 pre-orders open in Egypt this week with a high price tag attached to it. So let's get right into this. Sony will officially take pre-orders for the PlayStation 5 in Egypt starting the 25th of March. And if you thought that your efforts to get a PlayStation meant spending a lot of money, hold on to your seats. Check it out. The PlayStation 5 console will sell for around 15,999 Egyptian pounds, which on the current exchange rates converts to just over $1,000. Presumably, import taxes are to blame for the severe hike, and accessories are not any more affordable. A spare DualSense controller. Hey guys, that $70 controller? It's not the most expensive controller on the market, but it's still kind of high price, right? The DualSense controller will retail for $126, while the Pulse 3D wireless headset will cost $177. My God. You know what? I complain a lot about scalpers and stuff like that, but whew,
This is literally the government scalping.
yeah, like this is just a flat rate.
I will say this is pretty common in
it is.
It's pretty common. I have a friend that I work with that is from Turkey, and it's the exact same issue.
Yeah.
It's typically import taxes, specifically on technology.
Yeah.
That shoot these prices up. There are easy ways to get around it, but at the same time, like if you want to buy it legally or without having to go through like shipping it from a different country or doing workarounds, then it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. Maybe not $1,000 for most of the places, but upwards of like double.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy, So for our friends out in Egypt trying to get a PlayStation 5, best of wishes from all of us here at Crossroads and Boss Rush Games. You're gonna need it. Whew. You know what? I would say that maybe this will help me like back off of the scalpers, but I'm still gonna stay on the scalpers, like a very bad rash on their butt. I am.
What do you think Egyptian scalpers charge for their PlayStation 5?
You know what? Let's think about this.
Shekels.
Let's think about this for a minute, because like we've seen a lot of movies that deal with like the wars in the Middle East and stuff like that, and isn't it always some really outlandish stuff that we see in these palaces when they take down regimes? It's like, yo, this guy had hyenas.
This has got a literal like mountain of PlayStation 5 consoles.
No, he'll be like, I have 20 tigers, and I got like Ferraris everywhere, and then one PS5, and that's when everyone's like, whoa.
He shows up. He has it up on a pedestal, and he's just like, watch, and he turns it on, and everybody like just like kneels on the floor. because they've never seen it before.
Like, oh.
Hey, maybe this is where all our PS5s are at right now. They're in the Middle East because people are like, hold on, we're not gonna wait for our economy to have this. Oh man! All right, next up, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is forced to disable decorations and seasonal content. On top of the game being ridiculed, riddled, not ridiculed. That because Valhalla is anything but being ridiculed. It's probably one of the best selling Assassin's Creed titles as of now. There are a few other ones, but this is probably one of the ones that has like the least amount of negative feedback, with the exception of it being riddled with all kinds of bugs on the PlayStation 4. It took Ubisoft at least a couple of months to properly polish the experience on PS5, and there's still a laundry list of issues that Ubisoft keeps track of in an official capacity. Now a much more serious issue has forced Ubisoft to disable Assassin's Creed Valhalla's new seasonal content. Following the arrival of the Astara Festival earlier this week, many players have reported a significant increase in crashes. As such, a hotfix has been implemented which removes quests and decorations from the event. A more permanent solution is apparently coming next week, and you know what? It's a good thing, that Ubisoft has taken action so quickly. Because there's other companies that are floundering with some of their releases, and some of their releases were supposed to make their decade, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a bad look for a game that's been plagued mostly by minor bugs since its release. So, I know this. We know a bunch of people who are playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. No one's really complaining a lot about what's wrong with the game. So I'm pretty sure the game is still pretty strong and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
hey,
it seems like they fixed most of the major stuff. I wonder if this is an issue where, similar to like Valorant always having issues with the updates, if this is just like one thing that they still haven't discovered, that every time something new is updated just keeps persisting and causing older issues to pop back up, or if it's something new every time.
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
So that'll be interesting to see how they because obviously the hotfix only disabled things. So if the more permanent fix doesn't end up fixing things for future events, I wonder if it's just something like a bigger inherent issue within the game itself.
Yeah. All right. Our next news blurb. Epic sends out surveys asking about future Fortnite crossovers. We love this stuff, because
Oh boy, more stuff for me to write about in the future.
Fortnite seems to be the gift that keeps on giving these days, especially since the pandemic. All right, so Epic is reportedly sending out surveys asking players what characters they would like to see cross over into Fortnite in the future, with questions asked about fan favorite gaming franchises and those from entertainment, comic books, and much more. This survey contains a lot of possible characters and has apparently been sent out since April of last year to select people. Characters highlighted include Ethan, Jill, the lady, because I'm tired of fumbling over her name. Hey, Nellie.
Don't ask me. I call her Lady D.
Giant Resident Evil lady.
Yes.
I didn't even read it. I was just looking. Lady.
I think it's Dimitrescu.
But I think that's how you say it.
But I swear, geez,
but I call her baby girl. So
baby girl. Lady D. I like that. So characters highlighted include Ethan, Jill, Lady D from Resident Evil. We've got Mega Man, Ratchet and Clank, Aloy, Joker from Persona 5, the Belmonts from Castlevania, CJ from Grand Theft Auto, and Mario and Devil May Cry characters. We also get first of all, hold on. The odds of a Nintendo property showing up on Fortnite.
Well, to be fair, there are a bunch of fake rumors as of now that Samus was coming during the Hunter stage when they were bringing all these Hunters.
I've heard about that.
There's a bunch of stuff around the time Master Chief got leaked and then announced.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of Samus rumors.
My problem is Nintendo Japan doesn't even appreciate Samus, so why would they even let it happen?
Well, we say this. A lot of people would have been like, "Oh, there's no way Nintendo would cross over with Rocket League," and they did
Okay, you know what? Yeah, you have
multiple times. And now
you have
Rocket League is Epic, is owned by Epic,
big goth,
Psyonix. So
big goth milk.
That's what I'm reading.
big vampire goth milk. Those are the four. Yeah, that's how
You know
would
what?
describe.
You know what? I'm gonna say it now.
Exactly. I agree. Just
I
follow
don't-
the damn train. Sorry. Go ahead.
What?
You remember that mission in San Andreas where you had to follow the train with Big Smoke?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, that's what it's
they're gonna continue that. They're gonna continue that in a completely different way. It's gonna spin off. He's gonna go through the portal.
wow.
all right. We also get TV and film characters like those from Nickelodeon, Disney, and more. The Minions are also mentioned, along with the Grinch, Mickey Mouse, and Shrek characters. Comic book characters include a range of Marvel and DC characters, as well as a few others. So you know what? I think there's a big well that Fortnite and its creators can tap into to get this. You know,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Mickey Mouse is going to be showing up anytime soon, but like, I mean, Disney already is in talks with them. I mean, Marvel's had how many crossovers with them at this point?
yeah.
I mean, a bunch of other Disney-owned properties now, technically. I don't know what specifically was in the Fox merger, but I mean, Disney owns a lot of their movie properties now, so that there's been some crossovers there. I mean, heck if I know. There's like so much. I mean, like kid stuff is with like the Minions or whatever. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's definitely like companies like Viacom and the people who own like all these like Nickelodeon shows and stuff are definitely keeping their eyes open for potential crossovers. Like I don't know if they're gonna. I don't think it's necessarily gonna happen because who are you gonna see like SpongeBob shooting people? But like that, even if like even if like there's a chance that it would hurt their image, like whatever. I mean, I didn't expect Street Fighter characters to come to Fortnite. I
That's yeah.
didn't expect that news to get dropped on me, and then I get to see Ryu Hadouken a banana to death in the trailer or whatever. So,
And we
like,
got Laura Croft.
yeah, like Lara Croft and
Lara Croft was a big deal.
well, and not even that. They hired somebody from like the community to recreate Croft Manor in creative, so players could go in and like explore the mansion and stuff. I don't know how in depth it is. I don't even think it's out yet. I think it comes out on like the 25th or something. But yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff like that. They're getting more involved on the creative side too. So I wonder what is next. Like obviously there's going to be more movie and like comic book crossovers and stuff. Those have happened already, and there's such a big well to pull from. I think kids properties are probably going to be a little less common, but there's definitely going to be like more major movie and TV show, comic book, video game crossovers in the future. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nintendo eventually do it, especially with how popular Fortnite is on the Switch.
I feel like Nintendo might be a little hesitant about it though, because like I feel like this stuff probably takes away from anything that they have working on Splatoon 3. If that makes any sense.
It might, but at the same time, that's really their only shooter. So, and it's not coming out until next year, and they're not going to put a. That's also a paid game, so it's kind of like if people are going to play Splatoon 3, they're probably going to play Splatoon 3 already.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure that they really care about that, but they could. Who knows? Nintendo's weird. I've got a laundry list of things that I understand about and don't understand about Nintendo.
Oh wow. We should compare notes. All right. Next up, Remedy says Sony was a bit more ready for next gen than Microsoft. All right, so just follow along with me here. Control developer Remedy has revealed that Sony was a bit more ready for next generation consoles than Microsoft, meaning that it was slightly easier to get its games up and running on the PS5 than the Xbox Series X and S. Chatting with Next Gen Console Watch, Remedy's Thomas Puha explained that Microsoft changed up a few things for its new console, whereas Sony stuck in more familiar territory. Sony stuck with what worked. Their development software and tools were pretty stable and good pretty early on. Microsoft opted to change quite a few things, which in the long run are probably good. But of course, it was just a bigger hurdle for us devs early on because we had to rewrite a bunch of different things to take advantage of specific features. You know, this might also explain some of the complications that came out initially with the backwards compatibility scene with PS5 to PS4 stuff. Might explain it because I feel like Microsoft did get the backwards compatibility thing rolling pretty solidly, but at the same time, you know, it's hard to tell. So it's nice when we get like developers that that bring things to light like this because Microsoft has a pretty good ecosystem right now with the Xbox Series consoles and the Xbox Ones and stuff like that. So it's always good to get a little bit of insight to what goes on behind the scenes, and I love when news bits come out like this.
I wonder if one of the reasons that Microsoft had to change so many things is because they weren't sure during the early stages how much they wanted to push things forward.
Mhm.
Not necessarily in terms of like the hardware, but more so like on the dev side. Like, okay, well, what are we like? What's the highest end we're going to support for the S console? What's the high? Because the PlayStation 5 is the same, even though there are two different console variations. Whereas I think they might have had to do more work on Microsoft sides because of the two different console SKUs and trying to push. Hey, things are still going to be available on like Xbox One for at least the next 2 years or whatever.
Mhm.
So they probably had to just do more technical work on to keep things very clear for the developers that are working on games across gen, like across both gens, but also people that are just like, okay, next gen only, next gen PC only. So who
Yeah,
knows? That stuff's probably going to start coming out more and more the longer we're in this current generation, and people are no longer developing games that were in development before these consoles had their dev kits officially out. So probably another year, I would say, because we started hearing rumors about the PlayStation 5 dev kits early 2019. So usually like a 2 to 3 year gap. So once the console has been out for a full year, we'll probably start hearing more stories about like, oh yeah, the development for X game that's coming out now was like pretty hard because we had to transfer things over and work with new like hardware or whatever. So, oh, you're muted.
oh, thank you. Our final blur for tonight. That's weird. I didn't even know it was muted. All right. The next Resident Evil showcase is planned for April. Capcom has announced the new Resident Evil showcase will take place at some point next month. Nelly, you know what it is. Tell us what the date is.
You know what? I actually don't know.
What?
For the showcase or for
For
the
the
next game coming out?
The
showcase.
showcase.
It's like I
Nelly,
should know, but
yeah, you're
I
supposed
mean,
to
it
know
has
these
to be like
things.
early April, right? Like early April, probably like 7th or something, because the game comes out like May 7th.
Yeah.
May 7th. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
There's actually I don't see a date.
Now this
I was
showcase is
surprised
going to
it
be
wasn't for the anniversary.
well. The anniversary is
It wasn't today.
yeah. The anniversary passed. What was that last? Was that Saturday or Sunday?
Actually, yesterday was anniversary.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. I thought it was on the
Yeah.
weekend.
No, it was yesterday because we were all like celebrating.
Well, 34 artists are reported to be on standby.
All right, so yeah, so it's kind of weird, but I guess it's all going to be linked to the 25th anniversary for the series.
I'm going
Uh,
to assume this is where we're going to get the rumored whatever next installment of the game tease. There's been some stuff that's dropped in various
Code
leaks and whatever.
Veronica remake. Code Veronica remake.
I would love a Code Veronica remake.
I don't remember
Yes.
if that might have been one of the ones that was talked about. I know there's been like rumors and like some data about like the Resi 4 remake forever, but I don't think that's going to be happening this year or announced this year. I think that's the next year thing once
You know
they're a
what?
little bit further out.
We need a revolt if another version of Resident Evil 4 shows up.
Well, you don't like having availability of like 7 different versions across like 4 consoles, like just over the last generation. Because I want to say the one on Switch is like the same as it's like the Wii version, and
Yeah.
then the one on regular consoles is the like the regular console version ported over, and then the one on PC is like just the regular one but with enhanced graphics, like ported over. Like
Yeah, I actually have the first Resident Evil remake on like every console I own.
Really? Because I only got it for GameCube and I got it for the PC. I didn't get it. I didn't get it anywhere else.
I got a GameCube,
I
Xbox
thought about I
360,
thought about getting
Xbox
it on the
One.
Switch. I thought about getting it on the Switch. All right. An exact date hasn't been revealed just yet, and neither has specific details as to what expectations can be correctly aligned with this next event. All we know right now is that it's happening in April, and Capcom doesn't want to spoil any surprises. So, are we getting some big surprises, or is it just going to be more of the same? You know, fluff for RE8, which we all know is going to be fantastic. And RE-verse. Stuff like that. Or are we actually going to see some new stuff and not Resident Evil 4 stuff?
I would bet there might be another remake, but they've also got some other stuff in store. I would assume. I don't. We're not going to see the next Resi title because obviously Village isn't even out yet. But there's probably going to be an update for something. I think that wasn't there. There's probably going to be some news about that weird battle royale game,
Rebirth.
Yeah.
the Rebirth or whatever it was
What?
called that they showed off during the last one.
Wait, is that Reverse? Yeah.
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 Did I just hear a Weird Al game?
A what?
A what?
I could have
Battle Royale. Battle Royale.
Oh, Battle Royale.
Because Resident Evil's releasing a game where you play as an owl.
No, I was thinking of Weird Al.
Yes. Resident Evil Weird Al Yankovic crossover win.
I was like,
He's
what?
gonna release a song about Lady D.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, Austin's lagging hard again.
Really done it.
Yeah, that's why you heard the owl game.
Yeah. All right. To get the scoop on all these blurbs, links have been provided in our Twitch stream chat. Go check them out and then continue the conversation with us over on our Twitter page at @PS_Crossroads. All right. We had no questions tonight, but if you want your questions read on the show, tweet us at @PS_Crossroads or email us at crossroadspspod@gmail.com. That email address is going into the Twitch chat for you guys, so you know where to reach us. Now, let's go ahead and break into tonight's latest news and events for this week. All right, guys. This is actually going to be a cool one tonight because it's all Sony stuff. There's just no game specific stuff in all of our news topics tonight. Lovely, right?
I mean, I'm down.
All that.
I
Alright.
enjoy talking business stuff.
All right, so last week we mentioned that the PS5 is the fastest selling console in U.S. history by dollar sales, but is second best selling hardware platform. With the Nintendo Switch continuing to lead the way in the market. Well, guess what, guys? The PS5 has soared past 6 million sales as of the start of March. 6 million units sold. Screen Rant reports that the PS5 has surpassed 6 million units sold worldwide. Since its launch, Sony's console has been up against a significant amount of issues. Like other consoles, PS5 faced major shortages in 2020 due to manufacturing issues caused by COVID-19 restrictions. The shortages coincided with the introduction of lockdowns and stay-at-home measures, during which many people turned to video games to pass the time. While many people hoped to get their hands on a PS5, most were unlucky. What little restocks there were sold out almost instantly. This scarcity has driven up both demand for the PS5 and its price. Scalpers have taken advantage of this, charging outrageous sums for the console. Now, here's something, because we've talked about this a lot on Crossroads. Despite these prices that people have been forced to pay through scalpers, people were still buying them, but scalper sales supposedly only accounted for 10% of all PS5 console sales. So, based on this information, and this was information organized by VG Charts, based on this information, we know that there's an actual real shortage, and that people who are behind and wind up getting outdone by the scalpers, it's a small majority. even though it seems like everybody's feeling the woes of it. But it's good to know that like only what's 10% of 6 million. I'm
That, I mean, I was about to say, to be fair, that's still a lot of people. So it feels bigger than it actually is in terms of like full percentage. But also, you're probably only hearing about it in your market. You're not hearing about it from other regions and stuff too.
Yeah, sure that.
So, I will say that the shortage that they're talking about is also set to continue through at least the first part of 2021. That was reported a while ago because the chips that both the Xbox and the PS5 use.
Yeah, the ones manufactured by AMD.
Yep. I believe, the AMD chip is
the Ryzen chip. Yep.
Yeah, they announced it like, hey, the one that we use for all the consoles is like not only in really high demand but also really hard to make right now because of all the shortages and stuff. So be aware that there is going to be a continued shortage at least through, I think they said like May. So we're over halfway through that shortage period. So hopefully the number of consoles actually being manufactured will crank back up in the summer. So by the time people really start wanting the console again over the summer, it'll get to a point where it'll finally be readily available, and you won't have to wait in a queue 6 months after launch.
Yeah, that's the same way. That's the same way I feel actually. All right, so VikiChart states that during the week of February 28th to March 6th, the PlayStation 5 sold about 201,033 units. This brings the overall total to 6.08 million units sold worldwide. This is more than the Xbox Series X and S, which sold 103,000 units during that same week, which brought its total units sold, the Xbox's units sold to 3.94 million. Both consoles remain eclipsed by the Nintendo Switch, though, which still sold 423,187 units during that week, bringing its grand total to, and Pal Block's gonna love this one, 80.79 million units sold. I can't hate on Nintendo and the Switch. I can't, because I have a Switch and I love it.
I love the Switch. It's love my Switch. Well, to be fair, I love right now. I've got the PC. I've got the PS4 and the Switch plugged in, which are the PS5 and the Switch plugged in, which are always there. And then I've got the Wii U plugged in too because I was playing some older games. But
oh snap!
I don't know. I understand the point of like the console war, but I don't understand why people are so hung up on that. This specifically, I think, is more valid because a lot of people can't get a hold of the consoles. And so they might be forced to kind of into one market, or I mean, heck, the Switch is more available than both of the new consoles, so Nintendo's probably winning out on this shortage battle. Just because, I mean, they don't really care, but they're probably seeing an uptick in their sales just because the other consoles aren't available. So like they're getting probably a bigger market share than if the consoles were readily available, which is fine. I mean, people love the Switch, people love whatever console they end up getting. I heard all the arguments where it's like people will never need to buy an Xbox again. I'm like, no, because it's not everybody can afford a PC. And if you get a PC, because the argument is you either get a PS5 or you get a PC. And then if you can, you get a Switch too, because that gives you all the games essentially. Mm-hmm. However, what if you're gaming on a budget, you want to get the Xbox One S, and then you get Game Pass? That is the perfect budget way to get into video games. Yeah. Or if you have kids that want to get into video games, that'll give them access to all the free-to-play games that they might want to play, like Fortnite and everything. That'll give them access to all, I don't even know how many games are on Game Pass at this point, but over 2 decades worth of, classic titles. You're getting all of Bethesda stuff now. You're getting all of Xbox's stuff now. You're getting all of these amazing indie titles. It's just a great way to get such a wide range of games for so little. Yeah. When if you're getting a PlayStation, they've got if you get PlayStation Plus, so you're getting free games every month, and you get the classics collection that it's mostly made up of last gen's best games, but you're not getting new stuff most of the time outside of that month drop, and then it really just depends on your whatever, but seeing the PlayStation sell so well is like really encouraging for like how the sales are going to continue. I
Yeah.
like it's going to be real hard to keep pace with the PlayStation 4 because the PlayStation 4 did so well for so long. But
Speaking of which, the PS4 in its lifetime sold over 115 million units. And just last week, the same week that this report came out, it sold another 43,000 plus units.
do you want to know why that is?
Lay it on me.
So the PlayStation, I don't know if this is still the case, but a reason the PlayStation 2 continued selling so well for so long is because in certain countries, not only was it like the best like DVD player, the most affordable and best DVD player you could get, and it would also play games. So it was like the 2-in-1, which is why a lot of people got it in the first place everywhere.
Wait, are we talking about PS2 or the PS4?
The PS2 or PS4? Because I saw PS2 on the list.
Oh, yeah. The PS4 has sold over 115 million units in its lifetime.
PS4 is probably still selling well because obviously it's last gen, but also it's the only other PlayStation other than the 5 still in production.
Mm-hmm.
But jumping ahead to the PS2 is the best selling console of all time, specifically because people would buy it and then use its parts for like supercomputers and stuff back when it was still alive. Because the parts were cheaper to get through buying a PlayStation than buying like the parts separately through like your company or whatever. So certain companies in like South America or whatever would buy bulk PS2s and just use them as supercomputers essentially. Back when that was a viable option.
Yeah.
All right, but since we're talking about the PS2 is actually still the best-selling console of all time. And with that being said, the Switch continues to outsell new gen consoles. Now, when they say new gen, are we talking PS4 and Xbox One, or are we actually
Overall,
including?
it's outside all of them.
Okay.
It's like just across the board, the Switch is the best. It's been the best selling for like I think 10 months in a row or something like that now.
Yeah.
It's wild. Then it's just like continuing to rack it up, and now there's the new model on the horizon. Reportedly, with we still don't know the specifics about it, but or like all the specifics, but the reports today that it's going to be more expensive, and a lot of people are like, I don't understand how it's going to be more expensive when the price the stuff they're using is cost effective. So some of the reports are still up in the air, but the new model that's coming down the line, whenever it does eventually launch, is just going to propel that even further because people are going to buy a second Switch.
I lost track for a second there. Sorry about that. All right. So here's the question. Besides fighting the scalpers, where else can Sony look for to gain a more significant foothold in the overall console sales right now? What do you think?
Get more consoles out on the market. That's really the only answer.
I think the best strategy they have is to actually send units directly to stores for the sales floors, and that the companies like Best Buy and all these places, like they limit their in-store sales to where, like, if it's online, yeah, you buy it online, you have to come in and pick it up from the store. We will not ship it to you.
That's a pretty good option to combat like the more local scalpers.
Yeah.
I think that's really good because most of to be fair, most of those places don't have to do direct queues anymore, which does make it easier for scalpers to get their hands on consoles too. But at this point, I think Sony's basically just like whatever, who cares? We're selling the stuff anyways. Like once we start getting more stuff out the door, it's going to be less likely that scalpers have the opportunity to screw people over.
Yeah. Nellie, Austin, anything you guys want to add to this?
No, other than I got to leave in 5 minutes.
Oh, you do? All right. Well, then. Well, let's see something here. All right. You know what? This next topic will be really fast. All right. The PS3, the Vita, and the PSP stores are going to be closing permanently real soon here. All right. So, the Gamer, the website, has verified that PS3, PS Vita, and PlayStation Portable stores will be closing down July 2021, with a planned announcement from Sony coming the end of this month. PSPs and PS3 stores are to be closed on July 2nd, while the PS Vita store will stay open until August 27th. Austin and I are already crying about this. After those dates, you will no longer be able to. After those dates, you will no longer be able to purchase digital copies of games or DLC for any of the Sony consoles mentioned above. Question: while this definitely marks the conclusion of the PS3 era of gaming, is it possible that we will see many of these games that cropped up during that period on the PlayStation Store as possible backwards compatible releases?
Nope. The Sony's people at the top down have always been like, why are people so interested in old games? I don't understand. Like, they don't understand the. It might have been Jim Ryan specifically that said like, why are people interested in old games? I don't understand the reason of like them wanting to. I don't understand the reason of preserving all of them outside of like a historical standpoint. And it's like, plus the PlayStation 3 is that weird era of PlayStation where everybody like notoriously didn't want to develop for the PlayStation 3 because of their hardware, and supporting might be more difficult than we think, or whatever the argument's been for years. But no, it's unlikely that we're going to see more than just like the big names pop up as backwards compatible stuff. For the PSP and the PS Vita, this is the end. Like, I don't know if PlayStation's going to try mobile stuff again now that they cornered the market on physical, like the console market, and that sucks. Especially since like a lot of those PSP and Vita games aren't available on anywhere else, so the only way to play them in the future is going to be through emulators or through like stuff like that. Because like I remember the reason I bought my PlayStation was to play the original One Piece Pirate Warriors, and it's like that's not a physical game in America. Like people aren't going to be able to play the first or second One Piece Pirate Warriors games anymore without either getting a copy from overseas or emulating the game, because they're only available digitally on the PS3 store and the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then like that's not even to mention like all the DLC that even if you get a physical disc, like that might not be available. So that's the stuff that's gonna like. I mean, the communities are gonna find workarounds for it. You're gonna be able to download stuff on the drives and put it on the PlayStation 3 because it's super easy to put like outside software on those consoles. People, I mean, the Vita just recently exploded in popularity because it's like the easiest console to emulate stuff on. People are emulating all kinds of games on it or whatever, turning it into homebrew systems just like they do with the Wii U. So there's going to be a life for all of this. It's just not going to be official, and that kind of sucks, especially for the Vita since it's still like relatively recent. But I mean, it's still been almost a decade since it released, so it's not really weird to see why Sony's doing it.
Yep. All right, Nellie, we know you got to go, so real quickly, tell us what you've been playing and give yourself a plug.
On hiatus with games again. I'm sorry. I know that's not the answer everybody wanted to hear, but
sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, I'm almost done with school. That's what's holding me up. But I am hoping to play Resident Evil 7 before 8 comes out.
You gotta see Lady D.
Did what, LeRon?
In VR.
Yeah, I do want to see Lady D.
You gotta see Lady D in VR.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, we've been challenged by Leon Kennedy himself anyway. But yeah. But you can find me at Twitter at Planet Nellie. Nellie is spelled N3LLIE, and you can find me here on Twitch at Bradface_87. I don't have OnlyFans.
All right, Nellie. We love you. Thanks.
Love you guys.
Thanks for doing this. Go get your homework done.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, I'll be here. Nice meeting you, Cale.
Nice to meet you.
See you, Nellie.
Bye, Austin. Bye, LeRon.
All right, bye. All right. So let's go ahead and bring this on home. All right. So we're on to our big topic for the night. All right. So this was kind of a surprise when the news rolled out last.
You have no idea how big of a surprise this was. It dropped literally on everybody's head. Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah, I sure as hell didn't see it coming, But actually, maybe I could have seen it coming because I noticed all week on YouTube. Every time I refresh my feed for YouTube, I was seeing Sony hosting a whole bunch of fighting game stuff. So
yeah, we'll get into that. This is that does play into it, but
yeah,
let's just say that this is not the fighting game announcement people were expecting from Sony
true, true.
ahead of the summer. So
That's true. That's true. All right, so Evolution is now part of the PlayStation family. All right, this is big news, guys. Sony Interactive Entertainment and new esports venture RTS have jointly acquired the Evolution Championship series, known throughout the fighting game community simply as Evo. In an announcement last Thursday on the Sony Interactive Entertainment blog, the news was delivered that Sony, PlayStation, and Evo are now one entity. Since Thursday of last week, we have just felt nothing. This isn't ripples. This is more like tidal waves with stuff that's just been going on behind this. All right, so real quickly, in a quote from the actual blog itself. Today, we're thrilled to announce the next chapter in the story of the PlayStation and Evo, the world's largest and longest running fighting game tournament. Evo, by the way, has been around for over 25 years.
25 years, going strong. Battle of the Bay lives on.
Yep. Sony Interactive Entertainment has teamed up with RTS to acquire Evo through a joint venture partnership. With expertise spanning esports, event management, brand and developer consulting, and gaming talent management, RTS is a new venture led by CEO Stuart Saw and backed by investors including global entertainment, sports, and content company Endeavor. Evo co-founders Tom and Tony Cannon will remain closely involved in an advisory role to ensure Evo continues to service the fighting game community and support its vibrant growth. All right, so give me a second here, because look at that.
Evo boys.
What year is that? What year is that jersey from?
19, the most recent one that ran.
Okay, all right. So, first question. Is this a first step in strengthening Sony's online gaming infrastructure, leading to a better realization of cross-platform and cross-play?
Cross-platform? No, that's not the reason. At least that's not the reason that they're going for. Mm-hmm. This is Sony getting their foot in esports. This is they have such a tie with fighting games, as you mentioned. Well, I guess I can touch on this first. So Sony's been running like their PlayStation event series, where it's just like online tournaments for Mortal Kombat. They did some Soul Calibur. They've done some Street Fighter because Street Fighter is still PlayStation console exclusive. Street Fighter 5 is PlayStation console exclusive. They've done Tekken, even though Tekken is on all platforms. They've done Sony has a pretty long history with fighting games in terms of like that's the place to go for most like Japanese-based fighting games, especially with like Guilty Gear. All Arc System Works games basically, like Dragon Ball Fighter Z is played on PlayStation 4 primarily, like all that kind of stuff. I will say, cross-platform wasn't the plan, but it's not the plan because they've already confirmed that they're not shutting out other platforms. They're not against other platform games still being played at Evo. With the initial announcement, they only confirmed Guilty Gear Strive, which releases in June. Yeah. They confirmed Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition. They confirmed Tekken 7, and they confirmed Mortal Kombat 11. So 2 of those games we already knew were going to be there regardless if Evo ran, because they weren't going to, like, if it was online, Guilty Gear has good online, Mortal Kombat has good, not great online, but good online. So we knew those 2 games were probably going to be there. Since it's regional based, Street Fighter and Tekken make sense. Yeah. Because within regional play, the online's manageable, even though people are still going to complain a lot about it. So I don't expect that to be the final roster. There's probably going to be more games coming as either side events or we're just not sure how they're going to be run. But there's probably going to be an expansion of games. I would assume Killer Instinct is going to be there, which would be big because that is a Microsoft first-party fighting game now. Because it's developed by Iron Galaxies and in partnership with Rare. So That's the only big cross-platform, but we also know that Tekken 7 is going to be running on PC. So it's not going to be running on PlayStation. So the cross-platform thing is a thing. People blew it out of the water because of the Nintendo statement or whatever, which Nintendo wasn't going to put Ultimate Online in Evo anyways.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
But,
it was funny too because like I had people hit me up in my mentions about well, I guess we can say goodbye to like Smash and Evo. I was like,
you could say goodbye to Smash Melee at Evo if Nintendo is going to be involved, because there's no way they're going to be able to get around Nintendo's DMCA heavy hand when it comes to the Melee community. As long as it's not in person. If it's in person, I don't think Nintendo's going to be as heavy-handed about it. But if it's online, Melee will not be there unless Sony and Evo are willing to back the community, because it's going to be run with Slippy, the online mod that the community made. That gives Melee online. Melee does not have an online feature naturally because it's a game from 2001.
Yeah.
So, I will say that this is an esports move more so than anything, because their partner RTS, by the way, is the like esports branch of Endeavor Entertainment Holdings. So they're like a big entertainment company that has like their feet are in all these different like. They own like some actual fight combat sports stuff, like titles and stuff, some TV show brands, like all these different areas. That's their esports area. So the management and esports portion will probably come from them specifically. I'm not 100% sure what else they have esports wise they have their foot in, but this was an esports move, and I would say. I mean, everybody expected Sony to buy Capcom, if anything, when it came to fighting games. They were like, okay, well, if they're gonna make a big move, they're gonna get Street Fighter, like they're gonna get Capcom, they're gonna get Monster Hunter, they're gonna get they're gonna get Resident Evil, they're gonna get just all the Capcom properties. That's just gonna give them even more weight in being able to develop all these exclusives. So. That's what everybody kind of was thinking might happen on the fighting game front. Nobody saw Evo coming. So that dropped on our heads. I put it in the group chat. I was like, guys, is this like an actual thing? And bunch of reporters, bunch of people that go to, like me, another guy who goes to Evo, like all of our, like, everybody's like, what? What? Nobody saw this coming. What does this mean? And then they announced Evo Online 2021, which we weren't sure was going to happen with how Evo's brand is after everything that happened last summer with Mr. Wizard getting ousted as a very, very not good person with everything that went down on that front. So
yeah.
I'm super pumped because I love Evo. I only got to go in 19, but I've been watching it for going on since 2013 probably. So I mean that fighting games are my favorite form of esport. So anything that gets more fighting game stuff injected into my veins, please. Thank you. I'm all about it. So I hope this means there's going to be. I will say people are very excited because this means there's going to be actual money behind it now. That's not just grassroots. There's going to be insane production value, and there's going to be I can't remember who said it, but somebody said there's a point where grassroots it gets too big to be grassroots anymore, and Evo was at that line because they were up until 2015 they were still using like paper brackets and stuff. Like you had to manually check in and use like they were using outdated systems and stuff. It's like,
oh yeah,
this is a lot of people are super excited about it as long as they stay true to what they said in the statement and they're like, hey, we're here to like enhance this and bring it to the next level. We're not changing things. We're keeping the Cannon brothers, who are the co-founders of Evo, on as advisors. We're keeping Mark Julio and the Evo team that has been working there to keep things within the FGC and grow the FGC, not just the Evo brand. Like, as long as they are true to what they said in the statement, nobody has a problem with what Sony's doing. Everybody's just excited to see what they do because that just means there's a bigger opportunity for people to get seen the tournament to pop off, more Evo events beyond just Evo and Evo Japan. Like it's very exciting. So
That's true. That's true. Yep. Okay. Speaking of Evo Online, Evo Online has been announced. It'll be a fully online competition taking place from August the 6th to August the 8th, and then from August 13th to August 15th. Entries will be free, and players in North America, Europe, Asia, and Latin America will be able to compete in, we've already mentioned it, Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, and Guilty Gear Strive, all in an open format setting.
Yep.
Sorry, my voice is getting rough.
You're good. We've been talking for a while.
Yeah, I was also out partying, so
Yeah.
sorry. The online qualifiers will be live streamed for fans, and more details will be shared in the coming weeks on evo.gg.
Yep.
All right. So, the other question I have on this topic is, with Sony continuing work on strengthening their brand, what's the next possible move for the company? What do you guys think it might be?
I mean, if we're talking in this space, it's make Evo as good as possible for Evo Online. Make sure it looks good. Make sure it runs good. The tournament runs well. Everything runs smoothly. Get in front of things. There's rumors that there's going to be some announcements that aren't from Sony included in Evo, just like there is every year, where there's new DLC and new all this stuff. The big rumor right now is that Riot's finally are ready to unveil their fighting game like in full. Which would be huge because that's the next big one to drop. Outside of like whenever Street Fighter 6 finally gets announced and Tekken 7's DLC just finished up. Their Season 4 pass technically just finished up today.
As a matter of fact, it just dropped today. I was upset yesterday because I logged on to Tekken 7 yesterday and I noticed I had the character, but she was locked. Yeah. And it confused me yesterday. It confused me for a second because I was like, wait, I know I paid for the season's pass. Why is she here, but I can't play her?
Yeah, the update automatically downloaded yesterday. So, yeah. But yeah, that's like, their first goal in this space should be make sure Evo is back to being Evo. Distance yourself as far as possible from old news. Make yourself look good. Make the brand look good. Solidify yourself within the FGC. And then announce whatever you're going to announce if you have any Evo stuff to announce during the finals, because those dates that you said were the finals have been confirmed dates for those 4 games at least. So
honestly, the more I think about it, because the Nintendo question keeps coming up, and I think Nintendo's going to be super conservative about this, given that there's been some bad press.
Oh, they've already said they're not doing it this year.
Yeah.
They're not going to. Well, they've got their own bad press to deal with in the fighting game community after everything they did to Melee in December. But
there's that, and then of course the whole I'm just gonna say toxic environment that the Smash community had going on. I'm gonna say it like that because if I say anything else, it's basically slander.
No, you're good. You're talking to somebody who still gets press emails from Nintendo and reported on all that. So, like. I am not on Nintendo's good list. I'm on the Pokemon Company's good list. Just not Nintendo.
I keep being told if I keep messing with Nintendo, I'll get on their naughty list.
Their naughty list is, trust me, you're gonna have to do a lot to get on their radar at this point. Like their naughty list spans continents. But with how they send their ninjas out to take care of problems, but it's like, you got. Like their statement was basically just like we are very interested in seeing where it goes, and we are going to assess the situation. It's like, okay, so that means it's not going to be there this year. Yeah, but probably because they want to see how it's run. Then they don't want to showcase Ultimate competitive scene online because the online's not good. Like
that could be it too. Yeah,
garbage. There's all the speculation that it's like, oh, Nintendo and Sony have all these these issues in the background, and it's like. We don't like, obviously Japanese business is run in a different way and it's much more formal, and like if you slight somebody, they're going to remember it and there's going to be issues. But like, come on, even if that's the case, like Sony has made it clear that they're open in this instance, so there's at least going to be conversations there. We don't know that, we're not going to know, Like, geez. I'm just thinking of it like, okay, here is, you're looking at it, and you're going to be moving forward. You got these four major titles. Obviously, the reason that those four titles were announced first is because those are four of the biggest titles.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the biggest title in fighting games, and then like the three biggest current titles, especially one that's coming out.
Actually, okay, Guilty Gear I kind of get, but I'm surprised Dragon Ball Fighters wasn't in there.
Online, it's the online.
Okay.
So unless they're planning like the side tournaments, unless they're planning the like whatever, they want the name recognition and also serviceable online. Fighters Online is about the same level as Street Fighter and Tekken, so it's not like super weird, but I think they wanted one representative from like each of these big companies because they've got the Arc System Works game, they've got the Bandai game, they've got the Capcom game, they got the NetherRealms title, which in this case is Mortal Kombat 11. So you've got essentially the four horsemen of the FGC, the proper FGC, and then from there you're like, okay, well, what side tournaments do we want? We can throw in more Arc System games because most of them have pretty decent online. You can throw in Dragon Ball FighterZ if you're going to keep the regional formatting for all that stuff. You can throw in the indie games. You can throw in like Rivals of Aether if that team wants to try and get in on them Fighting Herds from last year's EVO Online. That never got its chance to shine in the limelight. All that kind of stuff can come later. It's just like the weight of those names combined with EVO, combined with the PlayStation news, is enough to draw more eyes. So, yeah, I don't. The Nintendo stuff is like whatever. We're not going to know until next year or whatever the next Nintendo event. It's not like people are like we're super happy with how Nintendo handled like EVO Japan. Like the winning player at EVO Japan got a pro controller. Shout out to Shuton.
Yeah.
Like you got a fancy pro controller and everybody got gift bags. Like, but now that's also to do with the competitive rules in Japan, less so with Nintendo. But Nintendo does this all the time, where it's like the Splatoon World Championships. We're going to give like the winning team some trophies and a set amount of like points to use in the eShop. It's like, and then because of the Melee stuff that happened, a bunch of those guys were like, "Hey, let's use Melee tags." And then Nintendo was like, "We're not broadcasting because you're using like the Melee tags." Now, to be fair, one of the teams was using a very inappropriate tag that linked to some interesting imagery about a turkey.
I remember that.
But yeah, so all the top 8 teams pulled out, and then they did their own tournament, and they raised like $25,000 for the prize pool in less than like a day and a half. So they raised like the $25K, and then they raised $20,000, and then I think they gave the rest to charity. And it's like stuff like that. It's just like, okay, but there's only so far you can get without Nintendo support, because as we've seen, Nintendo can be like, hey, let's just not let them run the tournament because we own the streaming rights because we're the company who made the game. So, like, we don't. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we're not going to know until it's right around the corner. Nintendo makes an official announcement, or we find out the details behind it. And boy, is that going to be a headache and a half.
Oh god, yeah.
When we finally get there.
You know what, Cale? I love when I find another like-minded person when it comes to Nintendo. You're welcome back here anytime. The Crossroads.
God, Nintendo. My brain in Nintendo. It's like I love Nintendo titles, but like working in the industry, like you just hear so many horror stories about like
it's so much cringe. It's so much cringe. Oh my god.
Like everyone's like, Nintendo's a family-friendly company, and yes, they're a great business to work for, and they're going to take care of their people internally, which is great. But that comes at the cost of, hey, in the middle of a pandemic, you're not allowed to play this game competitively, like with big events, because you're using a mod for almost a 20-year-old game. And it's like,
I still wonder how that supposedly damages the brand. I still don't understand it.
it doesn't damage the brand. It damages their ability to control the brand. Because if they let that go, then they're gonna have to like there's a whole case of like, well, does like the Metroid Prime or the Metroid 2 mod, like the AMR 2 or whatever it was called, the remake of the fan remake of Metroid 2, they got shut down allegedly because they were already working on
Samus Returns.
Yeah, Samus Returns, which, to be fair, that one has a lot of credence because the game came out the next year. But so like they shut that down. The Pokemon stuff, that's on TPC, and that's more understandable because they are the sole ownership of like the trademark. Yeah. And if you're making like fan games, they're typically okay with as long as you don't try to monetize or like do too much. Like ROM hacks. There's been some ROM hacks that have been shut down. Stuff like that. But there's a fine line to walk, and Nintendo doesn't walk that line. Nintendo has like a hammer and they take it to the line.
Yeah.
They're like, you play our way or you don't play at all for competitive titles. And,
for real.
And then they say, we shut it down because we're planning something and we're going to continue assessing this whatever, and they do nothing.
Right.
Shout outs to the Collegiate Smash League that tried to start up and Nintendo shut it down, and they're like, maybe we want to get into the space. Just what, 4 years later? Echo. Jeez.
You know, I have conversations with people, and the one thing, because the one thing I hear is why don't they do it with, why don't people do this stuff with Sony properties or Microsoft properties? And I'm like, Nintendo is in the DNA of every modern gamer.
You have one Nintendo property you probably like if you played it, if you owned or had a friend that had a Nintendo system.
Some people, just like we have Disney kids, we have Nintendo kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
there are people who only play video games through Nintendo consoles, not because they don't not because they don't like the other video game consoles, just because they don't care about video games beyond Nintendo. Like, they don't play things that come to like their Switch because they bought the Switch for Nintendo.
Yeah.
And anything else is just a bonus.
Yeah, and so like, you know, when you've got that big of a legacy, it's understandable that people want to do stuff with your property. Now, they may or may not know that it's quote unquote illegal, you know, by the commerce laws and stuff like that. But you know, it's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? We were talking about Sony. Let's
try and get back on topic. That got off the rails. Not as much as the donuts, but it got off the rails.
Actually, you know what? Actually, this is a good point because we basically asked and answered every question on the big topic. If you guys out there have anything you guys like to add into this conversation, hit us up at ps_crossroads on Twitter, or crossroadspspod@gmail.com, and let's hear some of your thoughts on that. We have one more news article that we're not going to be able to get into tonight, but I will share the information in our Twitch chat right now. It's basically about the multiple leadership changes at Sony Interactive Entertainment. Give it a read. There's a bunch of promotions happening. There's a bunch of new changes that are happening with Sony. Check it out. And we're about to wrap this thing up. So, Crossroads crew, what are you guys currently playing right now? Austin, go for it.
Well, I finished 2 games over the weekend. I finished.
Oh God, I hate you.
Little Nightmares.
Video games anymore. Austin does.
I finished Little Nightmares on Switch, and the reason why I can finish 2 games a weekend is because I drink my Mountain Dew. So, you know,
with your blueberry donuts.
Let's put it this way: Austin's gonna finish 2 games per weekend up until he croaks because of all the Mountain Dew, and then we're gonna beat him in the long run.
Listen, I gotta power through the short game.
I was just about to ask, how long did it take to get the Little Nightmares?
It didn't take very long.
I'd say it's like a 4 or 5 hour game, right?
It's 4 or 5 hour game, but I am playing the DLC now, which is another maybe hour and a half, 2. And I actually think the DLC is better than the original story. So, and I've heard, and like it controls better. So I'm really excited to play Little Nightmares 2 because I think it's going to be it might control the same way as that DLC. And then I beat finished and platinum Bugsnax just before we started the show.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
fun game. Really weird, but
That's the best part.
Yeah,
You gotta have the weird games along with the blockbusters.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a fun game, very interesting game, and I just put a poll on my Twitter for the next game I'm going to play on the PlayStation. It's going to be either Maneater, the Call of Duty campaign, Control, or Maquette. So if you want to vote on that, you can do that.
I have a feeling
on
it's going to be Control.
Control is winning right now, but not by a lot. So who knows?
Oh, nice. All right, Cale, what you been playing this week?
I have been playing fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many fighting games. I've been getting my butt handed to me by about 73 different Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas in Fighter Z. Because one-touch combos are hell, and I need to escape from it. Yeah, that I'm going to hop into Tekken 7 tomorrow with the DLC, see what Lydia's all about. She looks dope. Can't wait to hear the music on the full stage.
She does.
Throwback, Tekken 4, Tekken 5.
Yes.
Beach stage music, can't wait.
But you know what? I feel like we have an appreciation for Tekken. I feel like we
I
both
do love Tekken is probably the fighting game I am the worst at, other than NetherRealm's game. I'm terrible at Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible at Mortal Kombat.
There's the pie chart. I guess it's more like a square chart of fighting games. You can be good at like a few different kinds. You've got anime fighters, you've got NetherRealm games, you've got the traditional fighters, so Tekken, Street Fighter, combo based stuff, and then you've got like party fighters like Smash. You don't get the pie. You don't get the whole square. You get to be good at like maybe two.
Awesome.
And if you're really good, three.
Austin, you heard that right? Yeah. You heard what you called Smash, right?
A party fighter.
Yes. I wrote a whole article about this last week. I wrote a whole article about this last week.
I guess the technical term is platform fighter, but we all know like party fighter.
Hold on though, Cale, is it a fighter?
Yes.
Is Smash a fighter? Okay.
It is a fighting game, just like. But I mean, if you're gonna take
a special type of fighting game.
Yeah, it's its own classification of fighting game. Yeah. Because if you take Smash out, that means you're taking Brawlhalla out. That means you're taking Rivals of Aether out. You're taking a whole bunch of these platform fighters that are using that same style and removing them.
I swear, I can't even win on my own show.
Panda.
Kung Fu Panda, like the Legendary Warriors or whatever for PlayStation 3, 4, whatever.
Yeah.
Guess who played that game way too much? Because, I played that. Hey, what's the crocodile? Is the crocodile broken, or is I don't remember the broken character. There's one character you just literally can't beat.
Yeah. But, I think it's the crocodile one that you can't beat.
Just one busted, like, random, like, NPC character from the movie, and it's just like, he's busted, you can't beat him. But yeah.
All right. So my second question for you is it me or does Tekken have the best music?
Ooh, that is out of the current games. Yes, Tekken 7 definitely has the best music out of like. I mean, just across the board, Tekken hits like everything in a way that's like actual. Like some of the songs are actual music versus like just fighting game music specifically. Like they don't hit the beats. They don't just have to hit the beats. I mean, there's like jazz music in Tekken. I love jazz. Like, friggin' Tekken 7 Waltz. Yes, please. Listen to that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think Street Fighter has better hype music.
Okay.
And I think Smash doesn't. I don't count Smash's music as fighting game music because it's from other video games for the most part. Like so now they do get rearranged for fighting games specifically some of the time, but. I still don't count that because that's like 700 songs or something. That's just you can't beat that. Like just by pure birth, they're gonna have better songs. But no, Tekken 7 out of like the recent class of fighters, absolutely, it has the best music.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I just love Tekken. Most of Tekken soundtracks. Like I wasn't really a big fan of Tekken soundtracks until the first tag tournament.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was early 2000. No, that was Yeah, so early 2000s, they really started like inhabiting the era that they
Yeah.
were in, and then each game felt like very distinct, which is
Tekken.
why I think the remixes of like the beach music from older Tekken games feel
Yeah.
new because they feel modern versus what they felt like in Tekken
Like
4 and 5.
Tekken 4 soundtrack was
Oh
it was
no,
so so.
there's that was one of the ones that had the most duds for me. I
Yeah.
think Tekken 5 was a big step up. I wasn't like the biggest fan of Tekken 6, but Tekken 7 is I love
Oh
Tekken
yeah,
7.
Tekken 6, could have done better, but Tekken 5 was a step up from Tekken 4, but Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection when it remixed all the Tekken 5 soundtracks,
Yeah,
that was hot.
fire.
Of course, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, I feel like is probably one of the strongest Tekken soundtracks out there, and
Mhm.
Tekken 7 has not been a slouch.
No, Tekken 7 is great. But yeah, so outside of fighting games, I got bored, didn't want to play a new game because my brain hurts after work. So I'm doing another playthrough of Devil May Cry 5 because God, I love Devil May Cry 5.
I need to play that game.
Dude,
I need to beat that game.
that game is so like there's just nothing.
Are you playing on PS5 now?
Yes, I literally got my PS5 not for any of the other games. I got my PS5 to play the Devil May Cry 5
Oh
updated edition.
really? Oh really?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't planning on getting my PS5 until like around like January, February, because like Miles Morales I have, and I haven't played it yet because I haven't had time to like sit down for a weekend and enjoy it, which is what I want to do. But I wasn't planning to get it until like the new year or whatever. But I ended up getting one in like an early queue just because I saw the post on Twitter in time and I got in and got one. So and I already had the money set aside for it, so I was like, I'll try and get it. I'm not going to lose anything if I get it now versus later. And so I was like, what do I want to play first? And immediately, I actually bought Devil May Cry 5 for PS5 before I got my PS5. So
Nothing wrong with that.
nope, got it, played it. That was the first game I played when I got it. And I'm playing through it again now because God, that game is just the best. Like, it's the perfect mix of you need some brain power to play it because it's a really it's got a complex battle system, but also you can just not pay attention at all and just beat up people. So really good music, and that's what I need after a day of reporting.
Yep.
Just like don't have to pay attention. And then the next game I'm gonna actually start and play. I'm deciding between if I want to finally boot up and beat Horizon Zero Dawn because I've never beaten the game. Played through it. I played through most of it. I just never got around to beating it. So I want to restart and play that on PS5 with all the updates and everything. Or if I want to start Yakuza Like a Dragon.
See, I'm currently on Horizon Zero Dawn right now. Like I've been kind of slow at it because there's been other stuff going on. But Horizon Zero Dawn and the Monster Hunter Rise demo, which I can't wait for Friday.
God, that comes out no.
Yep.
Oh, I've got to get the hunting party together. Jesus. We said somebody blare the horn. Friggin' Ian's gonna be running around with his dang hunting horn, bashing people in the head.
All right, everybody. Well, that's our show for tonight. We'd like to give a big thanks to you for tuning in to Crossroads PlayStation Podcast, and also special thanks to Cale tonight for joining us. Thank you, man.
No problem.
You're wonderful. All right. Before we go, hey crew, plug yourself. Where can we find you at? Cale, go first.
You can find everything I write at .esports.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want the stuff that I don't write and or opinions on pretty much everything or a lot of basketball talk. I talk about basketball a lot. And as of late, controversy apparently. So that's fun. And then I occasionally stream, but you can find me everywhere at X Justified. And I'm not hard to find.
All right, Austin.
You can find me at PlayStation on Twitter, and then you can find everything else on the pinned tweets. Check me out on Land Party. Comes out every Wednesday on podcast services. And then, of course, check me here every Tuesday.
All right. And of course, you guys know I'm on social media at Exodus803, EXODUS803, Twitch.tv/Exodus803, and most of the gaming services you can also find me at Exodus803, including Steam, PlayStation Network, and Xbox Live. So, Boss Rush Games would like you to know that we are still looking for writers. If you are passionate about video games and you enjoy writing and are hoping for a place to publish, hit us up. Send us an email at opportunities@brg@gmail.com to apply. If you're curious about what we do, check out bossrushgames.com and see what we're all about. I put the email address in our Twitch chat for tonight as well. But also, don't forget to head over to bossrushgames.com and take a look at all the content that Boss Rush has to offer. Um, if you can't get enough of hanging out with us, come hang out with us over in our Discord community, which is simply called Boss Rush Games. The link is also being provided in the Twitch chat in the Twitch stream chat right now for you. Well, guys, this has been fun.
Been a good time. A lot of talking. This is the most I've talked on a podcast since Bible Man.
Well, I feel like as soon as we get off the show, like we need to have a conversation about that.
Oh, we can have a conversation about Bible Man if you want. Trust me.
All right.
Oh, he'll bring it.
Look, RPG. If you, I don't know how many, like 1 or 2 episodes ago of Lamb Party. Now I guess just go look up Lamb Party,
Yeah.
the Lamb Party podcast. There's an episode titled Bible Man something or other. You can get a full hour and a half of Bible Man action if you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you want that, if you're looking for that content. So yeah, have fun with that.
Oh, by the way, also hit me up on YouTube, Exodus803. I'm in a push to get to 100 subs. I think right now it's at 94.
94.
Okay, yeah. So
We get you there.
yeah, so almost there. Need 6 more. So don't forget to check me out. Hit me up over there. All right. The Boss Rush Games family wants you all to have a great night and go out there and play games and be better. You guys have a good night, and we'll be back here next week for our next show, episode 30 of the Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. You all have a good night.
Later, everyone.